Hello, my name is Rebecca Protzman, and this is my final strategy presentation for MCO 307 at Arizona State University. In this video, I will show how I've used my data analysis and audience research in this class to create an Instagram strategy for the brand Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia. Martha Stewart is an umbrella corporation that works in both media and merchandising, from print and internet publishing to television and radio broadcasting to the merchandising of product lines. Martha has experimented over decades to find multiple diverse ways to put her brand and idea into the world. Martha is a 79-year-old hardworking businesswoman, but her audience is made up mostly of homemakers who are interested in crafting, cooking, and domestic arts. She shares recipes on cooking and baking techniques, home decor and crafting ideas, gardening design ideas and techniques, how-to sewing projects, holiday ideas, cleaning and organizational tips, and health-focused information like healthy recipes, beauty tips, and even ideas for pets. Most of what she does is centered around the home, making it beautiful, comfortable, clean, organized, and healthy. She teaches her viewers, primarily wives and mothers, to be self-sufficient in multiple creative ways. Today, I will be focusing specifically on Martha's Instagram account, and I will illustrate a strategy that I believe will help her bring in a new and unexpected audience segment. Martha Stewart's presence on Instagram is one of beauty and perfection, and her content has won her 3.6 million followers, although she follows only 462 accounts. This page posts typically 2 to 4 times per day, with 3 being the most frequent number of posts. The typical content on Martha Stewart's Instagram account is home and garden centered, often having to do with growing and preparing food. The Martha Stewart Living magazine has always been known for its quality aesthetic, and her Instagram visuals are no different. Scrolling through her feed, you will find vibrant photos and videos of food, holidays, decor, flowers, and landscapes. There's also a healthy amount of spotlight posts about artists, chefs, and craftspeople. There's also weekly Black History Month posts that spotlight Black-owned businesses and powerful Black figures, as well as other weekly posts throughout the year that promote social change. There's about 1 ad per week on her feed, advertising either a product, her magazine, or her television shows. In the stories portion of her Instagram account, Martha has a variety of interesting videos. There are behind-the-scenes snippets from her TV shows and photo shoots, tours of gardens and flower fields on her estate, as well as behind-the-scenes tours in the homes and studios of artists and craftspeople across the country. Homeschool with Martha offers tutorials that kids and parents can follow. And Ask Martha provides short interviews with the woman herself, discussing her various products and inspirations. Martha's stories offer step-by-step cooking tutorials, as well as Q&A sessions with well-known chefs. This page uses the hashtag #I'mSoMartha to encourage fans to show off their own versions of Martha's creations, which can then be featured in the #I'mSoMartha stories and newsfeed and win a, quote, exclusive prize. I think Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia is doing a good job at highlighting its strengths and opportunities and evolving with the times. Martha is found on every common social media outlet, in print, on television, and she has her own app. Much like the steady stream of great ideas in her monthly magazine, Martha has managed to stay on top of the game in her corporation by remaining creative, resilient, and versatile. However, some more negative aspects of her business have managed to pop up through the years, from low-rated recipes to Greenpeace activists protesting her products. She has made some mistakes and may continue to do so, but I think her company has proven to have sufficient skills and a strong enough loyal audience to weather the mistakes. Strengths. Beauty. Martha Stewart publications and products have a high standard of aesthetic beauty. Loyal following. Martha proved when she was released from prison for insider trading in 2005 that she had enough loyal followers and investors to rebuild her company and grow it in new and exciting ways. Versatility. Martha began as a model, then became a private caterer. She's a woman of many talents who wants to share her skills and ideas, enriching the lives of her audience. Her creative skills go beyond homemaking skills and reach into her constant development of new aspects of her business. She currently has 2 magazines, 4 television shows, a radio show, an app, and merchandising alliances with Kmart, Sears, Lowe's, Home Depot, Macy's, Sherwin-Williams, Michaels, and JCPenney. She even worked with Gallo Winery to produce the Martha Stewart vintage wine. Weaknesses. Damaged reputation. In 2004, Martha was convicted of insider stock trading and went to prison for 5 months. Many believe that having served her time and come back clean actually gives Martha a kind of street cred, but it undoubtedly caused damage to her company and her reputation. Discrepancies between merchandisers. Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia has been at the center of multiple lawsuits, including issues with branding and merchandising rights. Low-rated recipes. It seems like a small issue, but very few of Martha's recipes are rated well. In the days before the internet, we would follow her books and magazines and never know if the recipes would be any good for other people. But these days you can Google any one of them and see that most of them are rated 2 to 3 stars out of 5. I think this is damaging to her reputation as a confident, skilled chef and baker. Opportunities. New technological opportunities. Martha has been really good at finding new technological opportunities, keeping up on her digital presence, and even as her own app. I have confidence that she and her advisors are constantly looking for the next exciting channel with which to reach their audience. New audiences. Martha has gone for decades seeking the same audience, young, white, crafty housewives. However, since her time in prison, she seems to have realized that there are more audiences out there for her. Her book, The Martha Rules, was written after her time in prison, the breakdown of business advice she wrote for all of her fellow inmates. She has recently expanded her audience even more by co-hosting a television show with her friend Snoop Dogg. Threats. Increasing competitors. Martha paved the way for many competitors to follow suit, from lifestyle magazines and cookbooks to how-to cooking and crafting videos and more. She gave many of us permission to make beautiful things, come up with innovative ideas and recipes, and to build our businesses from home. Her competitors ranged from other similar television online personalities like Joanna Gaines and Marie Kondo to large publishing empires such as Better Homes and Gardens and Real Simple. Martha Stewart could find itself in trouble if they do not stay on top of technological advances and audience needs. Environmental issues. Martha loves to think of herself and her message as being environmentally friendly. She talks about safer cleaning products, gardening without pesticides, and reusing, recycling, repairing items, and crafting. Her message is a good one, but it sometimes does not align with her actual merchandising practices. For instance, in July of 2002, environmental activists protested outside Kmart stores in an attempt to stop Martha from manufacturing toxic vinyl products. The first competitor of Martha Stewart Living is Better Homes and Gardens. Better Homes and Gardens, a similarly themed conglomerate for home, garden, and kitchen products and inspiration, comes in under Martha with 2.6 million Instagram followers. This brand posts 0 to 4 times per day, but usually posts 3. The content is similar to Martha's with bright and colorful food, garden, and home photos, how-tos, and holiday inspiration. Competitor number 2 is Marie Kondo, author and home organizing expert. Her posting is sporadic, and she seems to post an average of 2 times per week. Her content is bright and aesthetically pleasing, mostly photos of organizing tips, photos of her, her family, and lots of pretty photos of household items, beautifully organized and color coordinated. According to the audience profile on MeredithDirectMedia.com, the direct media company that publishes all of Martha's content. The median age of Martha's audience is 56 years, with a median household income of $77,754. Her audience is overwhelmingly female, with 71% of owning their own home. Martha Stewart herself is 79 years old, and it's obvious from the wrinkle creams and adult diaper ads that appear in each month's issue of her magazine that her audience members are aging too. As great as I think it is for Martha to be celebrating age and lightening the taboo of adult diapers, I also think that choosing to regularly target older audience could be resulting in a small, younger audience. I looked at people who I know follow Martha on Instagram, and when I saw The Boy Who Bakes, Ed Kimber, young British Bake Off baking champion, it made me realize that young males are potential Martha fans too. I want my target audience to be males age 18 to 34 who are interested in baking and gardening. Facebook Audience Insights tells me that this segment of the population is 252% more likely to be single than Facebook users in general, and that 63% have a college education, slightly higher than the 61% of all Facebook users. While 26% of all Facebook users hold jobs in administrative services, 27% of my chosen segment is in the production industry, with transportation and moving coming in second at 17%. Even though they enjoy baking and gardening, this population is still decidedly masculine, with page likes and interests hovering around companies like Foot Locker, Old Spice, Champ Sports, NFL, Assassin's Creed, and Axe. Unlike Facebook's general audience, whose top pages like to hover around food and drink companies like Oreo, Pizza Hut, Coca-Cola, Dunkin' Donuts, and Gerber. The demographics and psychographics of the young male audience are different than Martha's general audience, but I believe this is a viable segment to target because I believe that Martha's diverse content can be manipulated to speak to anyone. 73% of this audience prefers mobile devices, slightly higher than the 68% of all Facebook users. One thing my target audience has in common with the general Facebook population is that the largest portion of both groups live in New York and Los Angeles. Meet Ian Blake, the persona I have created to represent my target segment within Martha's potential audience. He's a 24-year-old single video producer in LA who likes to cook, bake, watch sports, and travel. Ian is a minimalist who likes his home clean and organized. He hosts his friends regularly to watch sports, drink beer, and grill in his backyard. Ian likes traveling the world, as well as taking road trips and backpacking trips around the country. My goal is to help Martha Stewart grow and engage this target segment on Instagram using Ian as my persona. First, I will start by connecting my SWOT analysis of Martha's brand to the target segment. We will need to play to Martha's strength of aesthetic beauty to attract Ian as an audience member, continuing to provide inspiring content. It's probably a good idea to focus on beautiful landscapes to appeal to his love of travel, as well as delicious looking food and tutorials on how to make it. Versatility will also come into play as Ian enjoys watching television and is likely to become an audience member through Martha and Snoop Dogg's show Potluck Dinner Party. Martha's weaknesses of damaged reputation from her time in prison and lawsuits involving branding issues with merchants probably won't hurt her chances of gaining Ian as an audience member, but her low-rated recipes will. Ian is young, but he's well-traveled and food-savvy, so Martha will need to ensure that only high-rated recipes make it onto her profile. As Martha and her current fans continue to age, the opportunities for growing this young male target audience must be carefully considered. Providing relevant content and using up-to-date technology are crucial aspects of the plan. Increasing competitors play a role in Martha's success with Ian's demographic as well. There is the Food Network. There are lots of YouTuber chefs and millions of five-star recipes online. Martha will also be competing against unrelated attention getters like sports, movies, and work. Martha needs to make Ian feel that there's a place for him in her world and that she can provide him with a one-stop shop for all his cooking, baking, gardening, traveling, and home needs. She needs to show him that her team has the best ideas, experts, and content out there. Another threat that Martha needs to address is her past reputation for using toxic materials in her products. If she can say something about her commitment to using sustainable materials and non-toxic ingredients, she will win more points in Ian's eyes. According to the Meredith Direct Media website, Martha Stewart is a, quote, brand that celebrates living. The overall business objective is to provide beautiful inspiration, step-by-step how-to, and creative ideas, enriching the lives and homes of audience members. My smart social channel goal is to increase the male 18 to 34 demographic within Martha's audience by 1% in the next 6 months by creating and publishing content that is in line with their interests and activities. I also want to create an ad campaign that targets this demographic that posts an ad and a story 3 times per week. This goal targets audience members in the top levels of the funnel, particularly the awareness and interest stages. Targeting this funnel level will allow Martha Stewart brand to pull a brand new audience into their funnel. In order to track whether this campaign has been effective, Martha's team would need to keep track of the demographic data on gender and age distribution in Instagram analytics before, during, and after the campaign to see if the male demographic has increased. Another KPI they would need is the audience growth rate, which is new followers divided by total followers times 100. They would need to track the impressions on each targeted post, as well as the engagement rate on those posts. In order to track the effectiveness of the targeted ad campaign, the best key performance index will be the end statistics on the ad itself. We will also be able to look at how many likes and comments each individual ad within the campaign earns so that we can get a general sense of which designs are more effective than others. In order to attract a young male audience, Martha should create a campaign showing her and her team's expertise in areas such as fishing, grilling, sports, and beer, appealing to more masculine sensibilities, but in an on-brand, straightforward way. She needs to appeal to Ian's outdoorsy, adventurous side, but also his appreciation of home arts. The articles can originate on Martha's website, but the campaign content needs to be created for Instagram so that everything's found in one place. Renewing past content under the umbrella of grilling could be a good idea. Best burger recipes, best grilling recipes, ribs, fish, chicken. Of course, making sure that all recipes shared are high rated. Tutorial and Q&A stories with grilling and barbecue experts across the country could be a great addition to daily feed posts. Since beer is the most popular alcoholic drink in the US, especially among the young, Martha could focus on the brewing process from beginning to end, recycling content that she probably already has. In both of these mock-up ads, I made sure to use photos that I think would make young guys take a second look and hopefully feel like the content was created for someone like them. The first piece of content I think Martha should share is a story from a non-competitor about something outdoorsy, possibly fishing. This article on keeping your caught fish fresh would be a great way for Martha to share helpful targeted content while also bringing awareness to the Alaskan Fish and Game website. Ian would appreciate the information as well as the connection to a possible travel destination. Speaking of travel, the next shared piece of targeted content should be a travel story about planning the best baseball road trip. It could be a shared article that Martha could weigh in on, giving her recommendations on places to eat and stay along the way. This would appeal to 2 of Ian's biggest interests, sports and adventure. This particular article doesn't have any visuals, so that gives Martha a chance to create a visual experience in her share that targets Ian directly. The post schedule for this campaign will be 3 times per week at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, each covering a different topic. Travel and adventure posts will publish on Mondays, home and garden posts will publish on Wednesdays, and food posts and tutorials will publish on Fridays. Each newsfeed post will be accompanied by a story showing how-to, behind the scenes, etc. That makes 6 posts per week total, including stories. This account should continue to use the hashtag #I'mSoMartha to encourage a reciprocal relationship with the audience. Martha could encourage young men to show off their kitchen skills, travel photos, and organizational ideas, and then feature them on her page and stories, encouraging others within the demographic to get on board too. A call to action to follow Martha's page is important, and this aligns with my SMART goal to increase young male audience by 1%. But other calls to action would be equally beneficial. If a call to action can bring the audience member one step further, perhaps to sign up for Martha's newsletter, that automatically opens up more engagement opportunities and pathways between the audience member and all of the many places where Martha's presence could be useful and inspiring. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, magazines, her website, her television shows, her books, and her products. Martha Stewart's brand should join in on conversations with other similar experts like Marie Kondo and Mary Berry. But more specifically, for the purposes of this goal, they should join in on conversations with experts in the more practical and masculine topics. Martha Stewart should comment on the content from craft beer companies, baseball stars, travel experts, arborists, fishermen, top chefs, grill masters. Just as she has done with Snoop Dogg, Martha should make connections with and leverage the influence of people that align with the male segment as well as the shared interests. Male bakers and chefs like Paul Hollywood and Gordon Ramsay, barbecue pit masters, or Royal Oak Charcoal, who has an amazing 64.4 thousand followers. Usain Bolt, professional athlete and accomplished photographer, who has an even more amazing 10 million followers. Other great influencers to leverage would be Rolf Potts, author of Vagabonding, and Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, both capable, thoughtful, adventurous men's men who teach similar principles of simplification, quality, and beauty. Here's a summary of my analysis of Martha's brand, my goal for her Instagram account, and the KPIs needed to track the success of my goal. Martha's brand and skill set are diverse, but her content seems to target mostly older female audience. I saw an opportunity to increase the younger male audience size in the upper segments of her marketing funnel and created a persona based on Facebook analytics for an 18 to 34-year-old single male who's into baking and gardening. My marketing goal for Martha's Instagram was to increase her 18 to 34-year-old male follower base by 1%, bringing a targeted segment of young males into the top of her sales funnel. I created some ad ideas as part of a 2 posts per day, 3 times per week, 6-month campaign to target this audience based on the data about their top likes and interests and based on Ian Blake, the persona I had created. In order to track whether this campaign has been effective, the first key performance indicator that Martha's team would need to record is the demographic data on gender and age distribution in Instagram analytics before, during, and after the campaign. They'd also need to keep track of the audience growth rate, the impressions on each targeted post, as well as the engagement rate on those posts and the use of targeted hashtags. I'm confident that my targeted ad campaign and use of like-minded influencer voices will help drive Martha's young male fan base hopefully reaching my goal of a full 1% increase. Martha has both street cred and actual cred, and I believe that once this audience segment feels they have a place in her world, they will be open to the amazing, helpful, inspiring content she has to offer. Once this campaign has pulled them into the top of her marketing funnel and made them followers, she can bring them further down by giving them incentives to join her newsletter, convert them with a magazine subscription, or by providing them with the perfect home product. The key goal in this campaign is to bring younger men toward the brand and make them feel like the content will be relevant to them and their lives. I have no idea how to get back on to the Zoom page again.
Stop share.
Oh, God.